what is the most important thing right now? You're alive right now, isn't it so? Because you're alive, your family has become important, your money has become important, your country has become important, so many other things have become important only because you're alive right now. This is not forever, this is just for a brief period of time. And the more joyful you are, briefer it becomes. If you're ecstatic, it'll just vanish in no time. Yes? So if you want to stretch it, you need to make yourself truly miserable. Otherwise, it'll be just gone in no time. Don't complicate something that's so simple. Just understand, you are a piece of life. You are not a thought. You are not an emotion. You are not flesh. You are not bone. You're just life. Constantly remind yourself that I'm just life. All these things happen to me. Body happened to me, thoughts happen to me, emotions happen to me, marriage happened to me, children happen to me, but I'm just a piece of life. Is it true? Or am I psyching you up? Huh? It's true? Please just live in the truth, rest will happen. Isn't it fantastic that if there's no purpose, you have nothing to fulfill, you can just live? No, but you want a purpose. And not a simple purpose, you want a God-given purpose. It's very dangerous. People who think they have a God-given purpose are doing the cruelest things on the planet. Because when you have a God-given purpose, life here becomes less important than your purpose. No, life is important. Life is important. When I say life, I am not talking about your family, your work, what you do not do, your party. I'm not talking about that as life. This is life, isn't it? Life is within you or around you. The ambience of life, you're mistaking the ambience of life for life. Your home, your family, your workspace, your party, this is all ambience of life, this is not life, isn't it? Yes or no? You're mistaking the ambience for the real thing. No. Life is important because it's the only thing you know, you don't know anything else. Rest is all imagined stuff, isn't it? The only thing is that this is beating and alive and that's all there is. So is this important? It is of paramount importance. Not you as a person, that's not important. But you as a piece of life, it's very important. So what is the purpose for this? See, if you had a purpose and if you fulfilled it, after that what would you do? Bored, isn't it? It is just that life is so intricate and so phenomenally intricate that if you spend 10,000 years looking at it carefully, you still will not know it entirely. Is there a meaning to it? The greatest thing about life is that there is no meaning to it. This is the greatest aspect of life, that it has no meaning to it and there is no need for it to have a meaning. It is the pettiness of one's mind that it is seek a meaning, because psychologically you will feel kind of unconnected with life if you don't have a purpose and a meaning. People are constantly trying to create these false purposes. Is there a God-given purpose? Don't look for such things. The thing is, the creation is made in such a way that creation and creator cannot be separated. Here you are a piece of creation, at the same time the source of creation is throbbing within you. If you pay little attention to this process of life, you would not need any purpose, it'll keep you engaged for 1,000,000 years if you want. There is so much happening. So much means so much unbelievable things are happening right here. If you pay enough attention, 1,000,000 years of existence, it'll keep you busy or more. Right now, the need for purpose has come because you're trapped in your psychological structure, not in your life process. But don't look for a purpose, because if you look for a purpose, you're seeking madness. If you find one, you are sure mad, because only the insane people have purpose. Or people who have purpose are insane in many ways. These are things that you create in your mind and believe it's true, isn't it? Right now, fighting for my country is my purpose. Right now, if it's necessary, I will fight, knowing fully well it's an unnecessary bloody fight. Then you will fight only to the extent it's necessary. If you think this is your purpose, you would want to destroy the whole world for what nonsense you believe in, isn't it? Something is needed, we'll do it. With absolute involvement. There's no other purpose. The purpose of life is to live, and to live totally. To live totally does not mean party every night. To live totally means, before you fall dead, every aspect of life has been explored, nothing has been left unexplored. Yes? Before you fall dead, even if you do not explore the cosmos, at least this piece of life you must know it in its entirety. That much you must do to yourself, isn't it? That's living totally. That you experience the whole of this, all dimensions of what this is. You did not leave anything untouched. You just do that. That will take a long time. That's enough, good enough purpose for you. Stoned enough or no? Just look at me. But am I conscious enough, alert enough, clear enough? If there was a way to intoxicate yourself without losing your judgment, without losing your awareness, without losing your intelligence, it's a great thing. Intoxication is a fantastic thing. Only problem is, it takes away your judgment, it takes away your intelligence, incapacitates you. That is the problem, isn't it? Is it true? Ask anybody, you're not in the medical sciences, but ask anybody, is it true that this body here is the greatest chemical factory in the universe right now? The universe that we know at least? Only problem is you're a lousy manager. If you know how to manage this, you would be like me, always blissed out. Anybody can say what they want, anybody can do what they want. This is like this only. Because I have not given this privilege to anybody, that somebody can make me happy, somebody can make me unhappy, somebody can make me miserable. Right now, you are a consequence of other people's opinions. Where do you plan to go like this? Anybody can ruin you. You went outside, somebody told you, Shreya, you are the most wonderful human being we have seen. Then you were floating on that cloud, what number? What number? 9. Oh, in South we do 11. You were floating on cloud whatever number, and you came home, people at home told you who you really are. And the cloud will crash. No. It's very important that neither this way or that way, we listen to everybody because we could be doing something wrong. Hello? Any moment we could be doing something wrong, so we listen to everybody. But what they say will not determine how I am. Never, ever. This you must fix.
So, I don't see activity and people and challenges and impediments as anything that fundamentally disturbs me in any way. It's just that some things will make your work better, some things will impede things. So in that context I'm looking, that's all. I'm never looking at any activity or any person as somebody who can make my life or break my life, because I've taken that and kept it in my hands, absolutely. Or in other words, I'm just conscious of every thought and emotion that happens within me, so I can think wild and feel wild and let myself go where I want, because it's only happening according to the way I want it. I think this is something you must do. As I said earlier, If you create a little distance, you will see, you will understand the whole mechanics of how this works. But if you're in it looks like it's such a complicated affair. It is not complicated. It is just that individual people are complicating it within themselves. And about being mindful, no, I'm not mindful of anything, I'm generally mindless. Yes, I don't have a single thought on my head. I don't have any knowledge or knowing when I walk on the street, I just walk like I'm a 5-year-old boy, just joyfully looking at everything. It's a bird or a butterfly, man, woman, everything I'm looking at carefully, not with any intent, simply looking. Because I have eyes, I must see everything that I can see. So, if you have keenness of attention, both internally and externally, I don't think you have to struggle with who will disturb you, what will disturb you, what will throw you off. No. See, balance, inner balance is the most important thing. You may have intelligence, you may have genius, you may have talent, you may have many things, you may even have a lot of wealth. Once there is no balance, all these things will turn against you. Your own intelligence will turn against you, your wealth will turn against you, your relationships will turn against you, everything will turn against you. Above all, balance.
Many things that don't work out in your early life, you will see later on, it is a great blessing. There are many ways to look at this. Let me tell you this. This happened in 1941. This is just when the Nazi movement was building up in Germany and in some parts of Europe. So one day in Austria, a bunch of German soldiers came, broke into the homes, took… everything was robbed, and these two children, a 12-year-old girl and an 8-year-old boy, were taken away. They were taken to a railway station. This is the month of November end, December kind of time, when it's becoming very cold. So they were kept in the railway station for 3 days because the trains did not come. Boys, little boys being boys, they started playing football. So they were playing football and then suddenly the train came. The train is not a passenger train, it's a cargo train, the goods train. So when the train came, the soldiers came and rushed everybody into the wagons which are there. Everybody got in and the little boy and the girl also got in, but the little boy forgot to wear his shoes. He left his shoes outside and they pushed him into the wagon. So without shoes he came. His sister, a 12-year-old girl, saw her kid brother coming without shoes and she got mad with him. She held him by the ear, boxed his ears, scolded him nicely, slapped him. Say, "You idiot, already we are in enough trouble, now you come without shoes." Because in Germany in winter, no shoes means you may lose your feet. So she's angry about that. In the next station, the boys and girls were separated. After 4 years, after the war was over, she came out of the concentration camp to find 17 members of her family, including her little brother, all had vanished. No records, no sign of them, they just evaporated. At that time, the only thing that bothered her was the last few things that she said to her little brother. She loves her brother, but the last few things that she said to him were such terrible things, it rang in her mind and troubled her. These are the last things I told my brother and after that I'm never going to see him, he's gone. So she took a vow, if I speak to anybody in my life, I will speak in such a way, if this is my last word, I will not regret. This one thing transformed her life in such a way. She went on to United States, she died in 2006, she did some phenomenal work, built a hospital, she lived a fruitful life. I'm saying, even if you're put through the most horrible situations, either you can come out using that experience as a better human being, or you can use the experience to become a horrible mess. So whenever something hurts you, there are two options. You can either become wounded or you can become wise. This is the choice. The more things hurt you early on in your life, the wiser you should have become, isn't it? But unfortunately, most people become wounded. This is simply because they just need an excuse to turn their own intelligence against themselves, that's all. Especially if the world around you turns against you, is it not very, very important that your intelligence stands up for you?
First of all, I made up my mind very early. In my life I've never applied for a job ever, nor did I go for any job interview or even think of a job. Always my family worried, how will you make a living? I said, I don't know. All I know is, if nothing works, I'll go… I spent weeks in the jungles of southern India all by myself. I learned to survive there. I said, if nothing works, I'll go into the jungle, you won't see me, but I will live, don't think I will die. I know how to live. Because balance, both inner and externally, you were balanced. It's very, very important. If you're balanced, whatever you have, your intelligence, your capabilities, your talents will naturally find the best expression possible. Or in other words, if you're well balanced, everything that you can do in your life, you will do. What you cannot do, anyway you will not do. But if you're not balanced, what you can do, you will not do. In your life, if you do not do what you cannot do, there is no problem. If you do not do what you can do, you're a disaster.
See, all of us have to live in this universe. No choice about it right now. But university is a choice. And that's why you're asking this question. How much time? Education is of value to do certain things. But what should we be doing as individual human beings, as a generation of people? What should we be doing in our lives? What I would say is, as a young man, I want to open your eyes and look at the world. Right now, please see, what is the most needed thing in the world right now? You don't do some fanciful thing that you like to do. You must do what's most needed, isn't it? Isn't it so? If you get carried away by situations, people become like this, it's useful but it is not the basic thing. Today you saw a train burning, so you want to become a firefighter. Tomorrow you saw something, you want to become that. In reaction, in emotional reaction, you choose to become something. It could be useful on some level. But now, when most young people cannot think, you're thinking, what should I do with my life? When such a thought has come, I would say spend little more time on it. Not being influenced by anybody or anything, simply look at it. What is it that the humanity needs most? The only thing that you can share, that you can call sharing, is yourself. Everything else you picked up from the planet. You pick it up here and if you leave it there, is that giving? That's not giving. That is just sensible living, that's all. The only and only thing, if at all, if you can call as giving, is that you shared the very life within you. This is the opportunity. This is the privilege that we want to offer to everybody, that you have the possibility of sharing who you are. Because that's the only giving, that's the only act that you can reasonably term as giving. Everything else is transportation. I said that one person's brain sparkles with genius, another person's brain sparkles with pain and suffering and tension and stress and whatever else. All the ugliest things that nobody wants happens in people's minds. So is it a question of higher intelligence? Is it a question of some magical influence from somewhere? Or is it a question of bringing the necessary balance within yourself so that you become available to the magic of life? A skewed intelligence, however smart it may look on the periphery, cannot make this life happen beautifully. Above all, balance is needed. Balance on all levels. Otherwise, our very body and our very brain will function against us. One thing is for everybody to understand, all human experience is generated from within, is that so? All human experience is generated from within. So at any time, if you feel happy or unhappy, miserable, joyful, ecstatic, in a state of agony, doesn't matter what happens, what is your experience, pleasantness or unpleasantness, just to know that it's happening from within, and it can only happen from within. You can either take external stimuli or you can create your own stimuli, but essentially it happens from within. This one thing, if it is not grasped, when you feel miserable, if you think it's this one, you're gone. You're just… the keyboard is here, but you're punching the wall. This is not going to work. This one basic fundamental thing is something that almost 90% of the humanity is always doing it wrong. Whenever they feel miserable, they think it must be this one or that one or that one or that one. Now, all human experience is generated from within. If something is feeling unpleasant, first thing is to look at this. What am I doing wrong with this? Am I eating wrong? Am I sleeping wrong? Am I sitting wrong? Am I breathing wrong? Is my heart beating wrong? Something, my very chemistry is wrong. Something is wrong with this, not with that. So, this possibility of bringing balance to the system, first of all, is the fundamental nature of yoga, the most basic forms of yoga. Whether it is… I know many of you doing probably the Nadi Vibhajan or Yoga Namaskar or Surya Namaskar or Surya Kriya, these are all basic forms of yoga. The first thing is to bring balance. Once there is balance, then you can build a tower on top of this. Your life and the experience of your life is entirely your making. Whatever I go through is essentially generated from within me and nobody else but me. Others may help. If you're miserable, some people will fuel it and help. If you're joyful, some people will fuel that and help. There are different types of people around us, they assist you as they know their life. If this one thing doesn't sink into you absolutely, you will not make the necessary changes. You still think, yes, I know it's my karma, but My husband, what he did? You can't fix this. First you understand, this is my making, entirely my making. The moment you see it, you have the ability to change it. I see it, but you know what they did to me yesterday? Now you can't change it. It doesn't matter who did what. What is happening within you, your experience of your life is entirely your making. This is your karma. Karma means not something that drops upon you from somewhere. Karma means your action, it's your making, it's your doing. So if you just said this one thing, creating the necessary balance will happen automatically. Once there is balance, then you would want to try many things. Otherwise, I'm talking about so many things up there in the sky, you will only be a spectator. You will not be the one who flies. You will only be a spectator because when there is no balance, you don't want to go 3 inches above the ground. So this is one fundamental thing. We've been talking about this in many forms, but if you want to make the full scope, if you want to make use of the full scope of this body and this brain, of this human possibility, of this consciousness that we refer to as human being, then first thing is this, that you understand and fix it within you absolutely that the quality of my life is entirely my making and nobody else and nobody else. If you fix this one thing, balance will come. Once balance comes, I'm impatient to take you to places where only people with balance can walk, others cannot. Once you enter the field, once you go there and stand, you should not be anybody's husband, anybody's father, anybody's son, not even an Indian. You must just be a batsman. You got a bat and the ball coming, your business is just to hit the ball as it deserves. If you stand there as an Indian, 1 billion people will stand on your head. It's too much heavy weight to carry.
Yeah.
If you stand there as a father, your children will sit on your shoulders. Very difficult to play the game with 2 children sitting on your shoulders.
Yeah.
You must leave all of them outside. When you go there, you're just a batsman, and that's all your job is. You must exclude all these things.
But it's very difficult for me to,
For that
leave that thought
For
behind.
that also there are methods. See, right now, I'm constantly involved with people day in and day out, 20 hours a day, I'm on and on and on with people 7 days of the week.
Yeah.
But if I close my eyes, the world stops for me, finished it is. The world doesn't even exist for me if I close my eyes. You must bring at least a little bit of this essence into your life, that there is… See, you were born alone?
No.
Or were you born with 1 billion people?
Yeah, born alone.
Alone.
Yeah.
When you die, you'll die alone.
Yeah.
Right now, within this body, you live alone.
Yeah.
You may do many other things.
Yeah.
All these other things come in between and go in between, okay?
Yeah.
One way or the other. This being, this piece of life is a complete piece of life as Creator has made. This doesn't become complete by making additions to it. It's incomplete human beings who invented those things. This is a complete piece of life. So, bringing this into your life, there are methods to do this.
Yeah.
That every day if you simply close your eyes and sit for a few minutes, you must be able to shut off everything.
Yeah.
If this happens in your daily life, when you go and stand there, it's just a business between you and the ball, that's all. And that's all it should be.
Yeah.
This business does not involve your family, does not involve India, does not involve anything. It
Yeah.
just involves the laws of physics, the ball, the bat and you, that's all. Now, in this world, more money, probably 10 times or even 100 times more money is being spent on hair products than on the brain products. So it looks like a whole lot of people don't care what is inside, they only care what is outside. So, for those people who are in a certain state of their life where they need to intensely focus on something, very intensely, where they need undivided attention to achieve what they want to achieve, normally we shave their heads, you know, so that they don't have to stand in front of the mirror every day. See, I don't have to stand in front of the mirror, every day I look the same. So I don't have to check how am I looking today. So when you're focused on something else, certain things get less significance. How we look, is it important? Yes, it is, to some extent. It is not that one should not be concerned about their appearance, of course it matters, but where does it matter, where does it not matter is something we have to decide. If you're adjusting your hair half the time in your life, what the hell are you going to do of any significance? I'm not saying you should not have hair, I'm not saying you should not keep it well, but if you are so concerned about your appearance, obviously you're a bit empty inside. There's some more stuff within you. You wouldn't be so concerned about your appearance. If you're presentable, it's fine, huh? Not every situation which seems like a solution is actually a solution, and not every situation which seems like a problem is a problem. So, what is a problem? What is a possibility? It is just that if you are equipped, if you have equipped yourself in such a way, no matter what happens, you know how to make it into a wonderful possibility for yourself. Because what life throws at us is not our choice always, but what we make out of it is 100% ours. If this one dimension, if we take charge of this, no matter what life throws at me, I will make this into a tremendous process for myself. You will not make anything into a problem because you are not a problem. This is a choice that every human being has, either for every situation. When I say every situation, there are only situations and situations and situations in our lives. When you don't know how to handle a particular situation, you call that a problem. What is a problem for you may be wonderful possibility for somebody else, usually is, isn't it? There are no problems in life, they're just situations. You can either make it into a possibility or a problem. You can either you yourself become a possibility or a problem. This is a choice every human being has. But to exercise this choice, you have to be in a certain way within yourself. Within yourself, you are in a certain state of equanimity, balance and exuberance that no matter what life throws at you, you will make it into a wonderful possibility. Life can throw all kinds of horrible things. Do not underestimate life, it can do things to you, yes. It can do all kinds of things to you. Most unexpected time, it will throw something at you that you did not imagine possible. The more active you are, more unexpected things happen to you. Yes. So instead of trying to control what life should throw at you, equipping yourself in such a way, no matter what it throws at you, you will make it into a wonderful possibility. If this one thing is done within the human being, then every situation is a possibility. Once every situation becomes a possibility, this human being will blossom to a full-fledged life. And this is the aspiration of every life, to somehow become a full-fledged life.
For one who is seeing this life as a stepping stone for a larger possibility,
For him, there is no failure. For one who is looking at the simple events of this life itself as the goal of life, for him, there is failure and success. If you're just seeing this life as a stepping stone for a larger possibility, if you have a good deal, you use that for your well-being. If you have a bad deal, you use that for your well-being. When there was money, it took away your time and life. Now the taps are closed, lots of time, this is the time. So it doesn't matter what the hell happens. It doesn't matter what the hell happens with your life. If you are seeing this life only as a stepping stone for a larger possibility, then whatever the situation, it is beautiful and very useful, very, very useful. So, various situations in your life, either you can use it to make yourself stronger and better, or you can sit and cry. This is the choice you have. Everything, it doesn't matter what happens. The most horrific event happened in your life, that also can be used for your growth and your well-being, if you have clearly seen the small events of your life. When I say small events, I mean your business, your marriage, your children, all those big things. All these things are just a stepping stone. Your life is about mukti. Your marriage, your business, your social life, these are all just means to get there. Either you go with it or you go without it. But whether you are a sannyasi or you're in the samsara, your only goal is mukti. Yes? The goal was not just for the sannyasi, for everybody it is mukti. If you can walk alone, you walk alone. You want party going with you, you walk with the party. That's your choice. You want to get there quick, you walk alone. You want to go there having picnic on the way slowly, you go with people. Choice is yours. But the important thing is, whatever the hell you're doing, there's only one goal.